Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something truly mind-bending, the phenomenon of India's business god. We are exploring a place where deep spiritual faith directly collides with high-stakes commerce, and it completely reshapes how we think about devotion and community economics.
Picture this for a second. Imagine a divine figure who doesn't just get prayers, but actual, official partnership deeds. We're talking about a deity who is handed corporate balance sheets, turnover reports, and is legally factored in for a cut of the corporate profits. I know, it sounds like some kind of modern corporate fable, right? But for thousands of business owners across India, this is their everyday reality. They flock to the Mandfiya village in Rajasthan not just to worship, but to literally do business with their ultimate partner.
And let me tell you, this partnership pays off big time. Just to put things into perspective, a single report from December 2024 noted that when the temple's donation boxes were opened up, they contained over 23 crore rupees in cash. That is roughly 2.7 million US dollars just sitting there in the vaults. And we aren't just talking about rupees either. There are 1 kilogram gold biscuits, solid silver locks and flutes, and stacks of foreign currency. It absolutely cements just how seriously these folks take their divine business partnership.
So who is this VIP partner? It's Sawariya Seth, a stunning dark-complexioned incarnation of Lord Krishna. Business owners, from your everyday local merchants all the way up to massive corporate CEOs, attribute their biggest financial turnarounds directly to him. The logic they use is simple, but honestly profound. They consider the deity as an active business partner and willfully pay him a share of their profits every single month. When their business booms, the temple's treasury booms right along with it. It's an actual, literal investment in faith, complete with divine audits and, I guess you could say, heaven's tax bracket.
Section 1. Dreams, Danger, and Discovery. The thrilling origins of the idols. Okay, to really wrap our heads around all this modern-day wealth, we've got to hit rewind. The historical thriller of how these sacred idols actually came to be is just as wild as the millions of dollars sitting in the vaults today.
The story kicks off back in the 1500s, when these exact idols were supposedly worshipped by the legendary saint and poet Mirabai. Fast forward to 1658, and things get incredibly tense. The Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb's army is invading the Mewar region, tearing down temples left and right. To protect these priceless divine figures, a desperate saint named Dayaram made a pretty hardcore decision. He buried them deep beneath a banyan tree. And there they sat, completely hidden in the dark, lost to history for nearly 200 years, right up until 1840. Then, in 1840, something completely unbelievable happens. Bilaram Gurjar, who was just a regular milkman in the village of Badsoda, had this incredibly vivid dream. A divine voice told him the exact location to dig to find a buried treasure of immense spiritual value. But get this, he wasn't the only one. On that exact same night, 2 other men from the village had the exact same dream. I mean, seriously, what are the odds? 3 men, 1 single night, 1 identical set of coordinates.
You can practically see the movie scene, right? Driven by this undeniable shared vision, the villagers gathered up the next morning and marched straight to the Badsoda Bogwand area. They found the ancient banyan tree from their dreams and started a really tense excavation. Digging deep down into the earth, their shovels finally hit something solid. And after painstakingly brushing away centuries of dirt, they unearthed not just 1, but 3 gorgeous dark-complexioned idols of Lord Krishna.
Section 2. The Sawariya Triangle. 3 idols, 3 unique powers. Now, you might assume they just build one massive temple for all 3 of these newly discovered idols, but that's actually not what happened at all. Instead, they separated them, creating this powerful spiritual power grid across Rajasthan known as the Sawariya Triangle. Each location serves a very specific purpose. The first idol went to Mandfiya, which is the main hub today for business and huge life decisions. The second stayed near the original excavation site in Badsoda to help folks find mental peace and resolve family drama. And the third went to Matrikundiya, which is essentially the crisis center for people facing severe legal troubles or deep personal distress.
But here is a detail that is just brilliantly poetic. Notice the physical difference in the Mandfiya idol, the business god. Traditional depictions of Lord Krishna almost always show both of his hands busy playing the flute, but not here. The idol at Mandfiya actually holds his right hand up in a very distinct open posture. Devotees see this as a listening pose. He's literally putting a pause on his music to actively listen to the business plans, the pitches, and the petitions of his devotees. It makes total sense why entrepreneurs absolutely flood this specific spot to be heard.
Section 3, Rajasthan's spiritual economy, where faith fuels the community. So let's shift gears for a second, from the spiritual realm over to the hard economic reality. Because when a temple is pulling in upwards of 1.2 million US dollars in average monthly donations, it totally stops being just a place of worship. It becomes a vital economic engine for the entire region.
All that incredible wealth cascades right back down into the community. Sure, the revenue maintains the massive temple complex itself, but it also heavily funds public infrastructure. Think about it. An influx of millions of tourists creates an absolute gold rush for job creation and hospitality, transport, and tour guiding. And crucially, it gives a massive lifeline to local artisans, making sure traditional crafts don't just survive, but actually thrive.
Basically, the business god acts like the ultimate local angel investor, completely bankrolling the preservation of Rajasthan's heritage. The constant flow of pilgrims buying souvenirs has essentially brought fading local traditions like block printing and pottery back from the brink. It sustains rural livelihoods, so families aren't entirely dependent on unpredictable farming seasons anymore. The real tightrope walk now, though, is figuring out how to balance this massive, booming tourism with actually preserving the soul of the local culture.
Section 4. Planning your pilgrimage. The logistics of visiting Sawariya Seth. So, if you're fired up to witness this fascinating intersection of faith and finance yourself, you're going to need the logistics. Let's walk through exactly how you navigate a pilgrimage site of this magnitude.
Honestly, getting there is pretty straightforward. If you're flying, Udaipur's airport is your best starting line, giving you a gorgeous 75 to 110-kilometer drive depending on your route. Taking the train, Chittorgarh Junction is just 40 kilometers out. The roads, especially Highway NH76, are super smooth for a road trip. Oh, and a quick pro tip for you. Definitely aim to visit between October and March unless you want to experience the brutal, intense heat of a Rajasthan summer.
Now, once you arrive, time management is your best friend. The temple wakes up bright and early at 5:30 a.m. for the morning prayer, and later in the morning at 11 a.m. is the royal food offering. But here is the absolute kicker you cannot forget: the deity's rest period. The inner doors shut completely from noon to 2:30 p.m. every single day. If you don't plan around this window, you're going to be stuck waiting outside the gates for hours until things open back up for the evening wrap-up at 10 p.m.
To really level up your visit, try to time your trip around prime festivals like Janmashtami or Diwali. Though, fair warning, you've got to be ready for massive shoulder-to-shoulder crowds. And while you're out there, make sure you explore. Go check out the stunning Chittorgarh Fort, a literal UNESCO World Heritage Site. Take a few spiritual detours to the Avavari Mata Temple or the ancient Shani Maharaj Temple in Ali Village. There's just so much incredible history baked into the soil out there.
So we've gone from a 19th century dream in a tiny village to a multi-million-dollar spiritual enterprise that acts as the ultimate business partner for millions of people. We've seen the staggering wealth, the unique triangle of power, and how this faith single-handedly sustains a local economy, which really leaves us with one massive thought-provoking question. In a place where devotion literally fuels the economy, and where corporate balance sheets are handed over right alongside prayers, where exactly does devotion end and commerce begin? It's a pretty fascinating symbiosis to chew on. Thanks so much for tuning into this explainer, and keep questioning the incredible, unexpected ways our world works.